that stuff? Narcan.
Well, that was back in July of 2017. It marked the first time Spokane police officers used Narcan to save someone from overdosing on opioids. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jane McCarthy.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Since then, SPD has issued the life-saving drug to every patrol officer, so we wanted to know how that program is going. And as I found out, the opioid epidemic and the effort to save lives is showing no signs of slowing.
43, start medics for unconscious male. We're helping. What did he take, heroin?
It's a jarring scene. As soon as Spokane police arrive, they find a frantic woman holding an unresponsive man in a parking lot in North Spokane.
Hey, you got Narcan? Grab it.
It's clear to the officer what's going on.
Here, watch out, man. He overdosed on heroin.
He checks the man's pulse and he tries to wake him up.
Hey, bud. Hey. Hey.
But when none of that seems to work, the officer grabs his Narcan.
We're getting pretty good at this, unfortunately. Keep snoring, bud. Keep snoring. Might get pissed off here. Will you tell him we just dosed him?
Does it work pretty well?
So far, yes. Within a few minutes, you'll start to see signs.
Sergeant Jay Kernkamp oversees and tracks the Narcan the department uses. As the opioid epidemic worsens, SPD decided to broaden the use of the life-saving drug. 2 years ago, they gave kits like this one to all their patrol officers.
So every officer is issued a pack just like this.
The drug itself is Naloxone. Narcan is the brand name.
We kind of break it down into 3 steps.
And it's designed to be given through the nose to reverse the effects of an overdose.
And then we'll give half into each nostril.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
He won't let his hand hit his face.
This is body camera footage of SPD's first save with the drug. It happened back in July of 2017. Since then, Kernkamp says they've used Narcan time and time again, saving lives in the process.
So far to date within the city, our officers have saved 9 people.
Wow, with the Narcan.
It's not about, cops saving drug addicts. It's about these people have families. These people are children of people. They have jobs. Unfortunately, they just have an addiction problem.
There you go, see.
Back at the scene in North Spokane, the man who was overdosing shows signs of improvement. His pulse gets stronger and his breathing starts to regulate. Officers roll him onto his side to make sure his airway remains clear. And a few minutes later, firefighters arrive on scene.
So, looks like heroin overdose, pinpoint pupils, barely breathing when we found him. Gave him 1 dose of Narcan. He's breathing a lot better. Good radial pulse here.
They sit the man up and he starts to regain consciousness.
Oh, we gotta take you to the hospital, man. You know who this is? Too much heroin. Not yet.
You can hear firefighters explain to him just how dire his situation was.
Well, you were just dead on the ground right here, so.
Did you think when you signed up to become a police officer you'd be using Narcan to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose of someone?
No, that was probably the last thing that I ever expected.
But with scenes like this playing out across the city, Kernkamp now says he can't imagine working without it.
I don't see it going away. We have more and more officers that are wanting it.
And deputies with the Spokane County Sheriff's Office also began carrying Narcan about 2 years ago, and so far they've had at least 3 saves, they say. And this is interesting. Sergeant Kernkamp with SPD says many of their officers carry Narcan not just to save other people, but to administer to themselves as the powerful opioids like fentanyl and carfentanil are popping up in communities across the country. So if they're exposed to those drugs, they want to be able to save themselves.